we have our own conversion pixel. A conversion is an action that a person takes on a website, like buying a ticket, buying a piece of merch, registering for your artist website, downloading a song, signing up for an email list, anything like that. And then the attribution is given through our little snippet of code that you would insert into the merch store or the place where you want to be tracking the sales. Generally, it's a Shopify store or through a third-party company that could manage your merch. This is sort of what it looks like as an example of something that's been implemented. You can also break down the sales from the conversions. So you can see here that they have different products. So you have the different stores here, and then basically just a rough overview. And then here you have actually like what people purchase. So songs, if they subscribe to a playlist, watched a video, bought a piece of vinyl, bought a video, etc. So I think the first place to start would be just to show you where that lives on Feature FM, just to give you an idea. So for that, you'll find it on any pre-save or smart link that you've created. You'll be able to actually see that on the Insights tab. So it would actually be on a link. Let me find a great link for us to look at. I think there should be one on here. So you'll see here there's a conversion tab, and on here is where all of that information would be. So sales would be attributed to the merch store integration. Streaming would be through Hangami or Kyobuzz. For those to show up on the streams timeline or the streams breakdown, you'd have to have those stores listed for the link. So in your stores for the link, we've gone over how to set up a pre-save or a smart link previously. You would just add Kyobuzz or Hangami. And then you'd be able to see that information. So for the actual the store integration, you would probably need to add that as like a custom store now that we've rolled out that feature and you no longer have to submit custom store requests to us. So you would just pick the name of the store that you want to add. So let's say it's the merch store for your artist or your record label. You would just come here and you would add it. So for this, the CTA would just be buy or pre-order if you're doing physical pre-orders, making sure that you have like the correct artwork. Then for the advanced layout, just making sure that the CTAs that you want are there, that the icon's the same. You can customize the color of this. So if you want it to be something a little bit more custom that'll stand out, you can do that. And then putting in the name of the store, so you would put in record label store. And then you would just add this to whatever smart link or pre-save that you had that you wanted to include that information on. So say that you work at a distribution company and the artist has a merch store that they want to add that's run through Kings Road or through Ochre. You'd be able to just add that store as a custom store in your account. And then you would add the snippet of code here. And we'll send this as like a wrap up. So if people want to actually add this, you can. You would let us know what the unique ID was, and we'll include it as a custom parameter. So email me or community@FeatureFM, and we'll add that. And then on your end, you would actually have to install the conversion code. So what that is you would just click on this little thing right here. It'll take you to our API, which you don't need to be fluent in to understand how to do this. So don't get too bogged up with all the technical jargon. You would just need to follow this information and make sure that you install this in the pages that you want to be tracking on your merch store. So that would be every page that a user might go to. Generally, if you add this in like the header section, it'll be most of these third-party merch companies or even Shopify have like a theme template. So if you add this in the section of like the custom code or the custom pixels or anything like that, though that's generally the names of those fields, you would just add this in there and it'll add it to all the pages. You'd add this right before the closing body tag. So generally on these templates, they have like body tags that are replicated. Generally a template has like the same structure across the merch store. So you just add that on there. And then if you really want to get super technical, you can figure out how this works. This will probably be above a few people's heads if they don't know JavaScript or how these types of things are built. But this is where you would grab the code. We're going to write up an FAQ article about this feature along with this webinar video, sort of just walking you through the process. So if you can't do it right now, you can always come back later. And we'll make sure to keep the copy pretty simple for everybody to understand. Now going back to here, so you would let us know the name of the store. You would also insert the copy and then, or insert the code after you copied it. Figure out which type of merch store you're trying to add it to. Make sure that it's possible. I've seen it work with Shopify stores and these two here. You would need to have access to the code base to be able to add it, or just ask somebody to add it for you. Most merch stores would probably actually enjoy this data. So if you do have your artist merch licensed to a third party, and you're sort of the label or the manager or the distribution company doing it on behalf of the artist, then you should be able to get it done. It's not too complicated to add. Generally, the only situations where people can add it is if it's not like a templated type of merch store. It's more like a custom build. In that case, you could just ask the developer. And then this is sort of the data that you would see. You'd be able to track sales from the point of the landing page to the merch store. You'd be able to track it from the sales breakdown per store, what they bought, etc. All in one place. The bonus for most of this is that you would also be able to pixel people that are going to the landing pages that you're creating on Feature FM, and then you'd be able to remarket any fans that have visited. So let's say that you have the merch store as an offering on the landing page for the pre-save or the smart link. You'd actually be able to segment that out as a store and then remarket to those folks that have clicked on the button. Most people have been setting these up for like pre-orders at the top of a launch campaign. Any type of like exclusive merch drops that you're doing, you could do that. I can walk you through setting up a few of these different use cases. But it's pretty seamless in doing this. And if you want to share the store or any type of insights from any links that we have on our platform, you just have to toggle on the share the report button, which would live on any smart link or pre-save that you create. You would just go up here and click this and then copy this URL and share it with team members. They wouldn't have access to your Feature FM account. They would just have access to all the data that's collected on that link. So I'm going to walk you through 2 examples of sort of how you can use the merch pixel specifically for a merch offering. For the streaming offerings, I mean, it's very simple. Like I mentioned earlier, it's pretty straightforward. You would just add the stores that we actually track conversion data for onto the link, and then you'd be able to see that streaming consumption. Just to rehash everybody's memory, like this is sort of what it would look like. Yeah, so let's walk through a few examples of sort of what you could do with the conversion pixel in terms of merch. I know merch is a big thing to sort of fill a gap for revenue generation with the current pandemic. So I think just showing a few examples of what you could do and sort of how you could track sales using the conversion tag would be quite useful. So the first thing that I would suggest doing is if you have anything where the artist is like selling merch for charity or for like any nonprofits that they're raising money for. I've seen this happen a lot with a lot of artists. Like they're using, they're using everything that they can to sort of help raise funds and help out for the causes that are near and dear to them. For that, I would suggest a few things. So for any bio links that you've created on the platform, those are in the artist folder. We went over these a few weeks ago and the video's up on our YouTube channel if you want to watch it. But I would actually suggest adding the merch store to the links and actions up here. So how I would do that is I would go back to the artist folder. So we're in the artist folder now, and I would just create a direct link to the store as a short link. If you do have more than one merch store for your artists, sometimes, artists will have different stores for like Europe than they do for the US or for Australia or other territories. So you can use the redirect that we have set up here if you do have a different store. For this example, we'll just use the same store worldwide. So we'll just make it a regular Feature FM link. Yes, I know the link to Share's merch store off the top of my head to answer any of that question. So for this, you would just do a link, wait for it to populate, and then I would just add the merch string at the end of it. Make sure that it's all set up here. So if you have custom social cards you want to use, you can. If you're selling merch and you're going to be posting this on any like Twitter or Facebook or anything like that, always update the social card because the photos, as we all know, sell the merch. Make sure that you have the Facebook pixel in here. Make sure that you have your Google ads, everything else that you want to have in this. And then just create the link. I'll toggle this off. So then what we'll do is we'll go back to the bio link and we'll add the merch store. So you can see here I have a smart link. If you just scroll through here, you can actually see in the order that they were created the most recent links. So for this would be the link to the merch store. I would just edit this so it's like merch store or the name of whatever you have for the merch. Also, you can upload an icon. We won't need one for this use case example, but this is an example of how you could promote the merch. One way to set it up so that you get conversion data rather than just a short link is, let's say that you've set up your merch store for your artists, like how I described in the custom stores. You would just create a smart link. It's going to populate with all the stores that I have set for this artist folder as a default, so we'll just remove them. So we would just select the store that we created, add it, and then you'd put something in here. It'd have to scan. That's just how the links work. But you would go to the next page. Let's just click on that. And you would set this up as you would any other type of link on the platform. So just call it like merch store. And then make sure it's the right subdomain that you want. Edit all of this, whatever you would like to have in here. Once this scans, this will be the store that shows up after you delete them. So let me just grab an example really fast to show you. So it's going to rescan it and then we'll have to re-add it, but I'll show you sort of what this all looks like so you don't have to worry about it. So you'll just delete the stores that aren't relevant. Also, I do advise having Ngami and any other streaming services that are more internationally focused just as part of any link that you have, because generally they are quite popular outside of the US. So you'll add the merch store, you'd put in the link here, so we'll just put in a test link. Now, if you've gone through the process of adding the merch store and adding, letting us know the unique ID so that we could add it on our end, then you'll be able to track the data from people that have clicked through this link. So you'll see now on here that we have just the merch store listed. So I'm going to go to the advanced layout because I like that layout a little bit better. And then you would just change this to be whatever it was. So you could also just do a direct to the store and not have people go to the landing page. It's really up to you. I'm just going to have it go directly to the landing page. We display the social icons. Make sure the social cards are populated with what you want it to be. It doesn't just have to be this. It could be any artwork that you want. So I would suggest uploading a photo of the merch item that you're trying to sell. And for the social cards, putting in the merch item here. If you're going to share this on socials, making sure that all of this is added, making sure that your tags match, and anything else that you have on here. And then clicking save. Now, if we go back to the bio link, we'll have a merch store to add here. And then all you would do is, if you wanted to have this go directly to the merch store, and you would still set it up the same way and then just have people go directly there. The bonus of this is that if you use the merch pixel that we just walked through for the conversions, you'll actually be able to track the sales, and you'll be able to do all that just through Feature FM. Now, going back to, we'll save this. Going back to another example that I was going to suggest was, now that you've actually just created a smart link with just the merch store, you could do any type of like stream to unlock, subscribe to YouTube to unlock, any type of like contesting element to have fans unlock the ability to go directly to that item, and then also have it attributed to the conversion pixels so that you'd be able to track sales and stuff like that generated, which is pretty cool. So for this, I would just grab that merch link that we just created and then put that as the follow-up link. So I've already set up a few actions here for this. We have the option of going to a link afterwards. So I would put that here. I would put that test link that we made so that people go there after they follow the artist on Spotify or save the release on Spotify. And then this way you can also have the attribution data. So those are a few ways that you can use it. Also, if you just want to embed the merch smart link on your page, you can do that as well. You would just need to embed it. So on the get link, you can grab any link that you want. And then if you want to use an action page as an embed, you would just use a custom iframe. Just email me if you want to get that information for any smart links, including the merch one that we just created. You'd be able to just grab the widget code and then put that where you wanted to use it. So we have the merch offer here. That's why I was suggesting, like, if you update the photo and you want to embed it somewhere, you can. We have different sizing options, and you can add different notes and see sort of what it previews as. Yeah, so anything with merch or anything like that, like you could embed the merch link into any of your email lists and keep track of the sales data entered there. I would just suggest using the organic channels. So for email, just grabbing this as the tag to embed in your emails, and then you'd be able to say, okay, well, these merch sales came from this email blast. That's another thing that you can do. Really, I mean, everything that we've done previously in this series, you could replicate for merch. Stream to unlock a new merch offering, and then use the merch conversions to track how many sales you're generating from your marketing efforts. But yeah, I'll take any questions now if anybody has any about this. Doesn't look like we do. If anybody has any questions, just feel free. I'll stay on for a few minutes just in case anybody's like going through anything. Paul, all of the videos on YouTube are like, they show everything. It's basically, we record every webinar that we do. So if there's anything that you missed or weren't able to attend, they're all up there. And we also send out recap emails as well. So you can go there and look at any of these. Kayville, will there be any product roadmap sessions held in the near future? No, there won't be. We walk through all the products as we roll them out. Next week, we're going to be going over the custom stores and how you can use that to customize a landing page. So I would come back for that if you're interested in the new products that we're rolling out. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Paul, if you just go to our website, we repost them all as blogs. Or if you look us up on YouTube, it's just youtube.com/user/FeatureFM. Doesn't look like we have any other questions. So thank you to everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and come back next week. We'll be doing custom stores.